Hello everybody, welcome back to Rosie TV, and today we're going to be recapping the final games of the UEFA Champions League round of 16. Starting off with Tuesday's game, Juventus took on Porto, and in pure Juventus fashion, they dispatched Porto 1-0 after a Paulo Dybala penalty. But similar to the first leg, for a large portion of the game, Porto had to play a man down after Maxi Pereira got sent off in the 40th minute. It's already hard enough to score against Juventus, let alone scoring against them with a man down, especially when they're at home. They've been so good at home this season, and in Europe, they've only conceded 1 goal at the J Stadium. And I know Porto aren't the best opposition in the world, but Juventus are a real force. I mean, that front four is so good. Mario Mandzukic on the left with that battler mentality. He has an amazing work rate. And then Juan Cuadrado on the right, he's kind of your playmaker from the wing. He's so good at taking on players. Paulo Dybala behind Gonzalo goals himself, and those two on their own are absolutely lethal. I mean, Higuain is a proven goal scorer, and now he has to really prove himself as a big game player as we get to the latter stages of the Champions League because of the criticism often given to him for messing up big chances in big games. But Paulo Dybala, this guy, he can create chances for you. He can score goals for you. He's just such an all-around player. And I'm just talking about the front four here, but that defense is amazing as well. I mean, you have your 2 Brazilian fullbacks with the flair, with the style. Both of them are so good in an attacking sense. And obviously you have your center backs, which you have loads of depth there. Bonucci, Bargiagli, Chiellini, Rugani, Benatia. Earlier today, they did draw Barcelona in the quarterfinals, and I don't think it's going to be as simple as you think. Barcelona are definitely going to be the favorites, but Juventus are still a fantastic team, and I think they're really going to take it to Barcelona. But moving on to the next game on Tuesday, which was Leicester and Sevilla. What a game this was. After that first leg, I thought Sevilla had this game in the bag, but after Ranieri got sacked, Leicester have just been playing exactly like they were last season when they won the Premier League. It was a bit bittersweet, because it's nice to see a smaller team do so well in the Champions League, but at the same time, I still despise a lot of those players for backstabbing Ranieri after all he did for the club last season. But in terms of Leicester's play, they, if anything, looked exactly like how Sevilla have been playing this season. A high press, a lot of hard work from the front, and then Sevilla, on the other hand, were very uncharacteristic. They lack that aggression, they lack that poise that they've had all season. And there's actually a tweet I really liked from the Front Three, which is a great podcast I listen to weekly. It said, Jorge Sampaoli finishing second in a Jorge Sampaoli look-alike competition. That's exactly what it felt like. I really thought Sevilla were going to make a deep run into the Champions League. Even in an earlier video, I said that they could make maybe a semifinals appearance, but obviously that just thrown out the window. But now what does this say for Jorge Sampaoli? He's been linked with Barcelona, but now I hear that they don't want to take a risk on him. I still think he's a fantastic manager, but this is definitely a big hiccup for them. I also want to talk about Kasper Schmeichel in these past 2 games. He was fantastic. Who knew snakes were so good at goalkeeping? But on a serious note, he saved 2 penalties, one in the first leg and one in the second leg, albeit Steven Nzonzi's penalty in the second leg was horrendous. But Schmeichel stepped up big, and now they have a huge game at the Calderon where they have to go against Atletico Madrid. Speaking of Atletico Madrid, they played Bayer Leverkusen on Wednesday and they drew 0-0. Similar to Juventus, Atletico Madrid are very good at home, but a key player for them behind that defense is Jan Oblak. And I've been saying it since last season. He is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And I think after Neuer and De Gea, he's probably the best goalkeeper in the world. He made 6 big saves in this game, and one of them was an amazing triple save. I mean, he was just all over the place. And I think Atletico Madrid against Leicester in the quarterfinals can be a real battle of the goalkeepers, since these two have been in such good form. Finishing this off, we have to talk about Monaco's 3-1 win against Manchester City. I mentioned how I got one of my bold predictions of the year wrong, saying that Sevilla are going to make a semifinals push in the Champions League, but I did get this one right. I did predict that Monaco are going to eliminate Manchester City before they even played the first leg. Manchester City, all they had to do would just keep it 0-0, and they couldn't even do that. It just shows how poor their defense really is. When is Guardiola going to learn that Kolarov is not a center back? He's not the same player as David Alaba or Javi Martinez where you can just change their position. Honestly, Guardiola in the summer has to buy a whole new back line, including a goalkeeper, now that Claudio Bravo has been dropped and they've been playing Willy Caballero. But Monaco, on the other hand, it's going to be so hard for them to keep hold of their stars. So much talent on this team. Kylian Mbappe opened up the scoring, and this kid is so young, 18 years old. He's actually so young that the last time France won the World Cup back in 1998, he wasn't even born yet. He has 9 goals in his last 8 games. Moving on, before the half, Fabinho made it 2-0 after a fantastic Mendy cross into the box. This gave Monaco the lead on away goals, but Manchester City still have an amazing attack, and they just needed to nick 1 goal and they'd make it to the quarterfinals, but that wasn't the case. Because even though Leroy Sané made it 2-1, they conceded a few minutes later after Bakayoko scored. Leroy Sané was a bright spot for Manchester City, but that attack just wasn't fluid enough here against Monaco. And now this is the first time in Pep Guardiola's managerial career that he's been eliminated in the round of 16 in the Champions League. He's always made the semifinals or the final, so this is going to be a big blemish on his resume. Leonardo Jardim was missing a lot of players in this game, but they still made it work. Their best defender, Kamil Glik, was out, and obviously the veteran Falcao was out with an injury as well. But I thought Jemerson and Raji have both had good games, and day by day this Monaco team is looking better and could be a real dark horse for this tournament. From players like Mbappe to Bernardo Silva, Thomas Lemar, Bakayoko, Fabinho, Sidibe, Mendy. It's been such an exciting time watching them. And now they have a highly entertaining draw against Borussia Dortmund, which I wouldn't be surprised if Monaco took it to Dortmund and eliminated them to go to the semifinals. Anyways, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That was my Champions League recap. Please give me your thoughts on the games in the comment section below and leave any suggestions for any future football videos you want me to make. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching Rosie TV.